Hello everyone and welcome back to another video for Destiny 2 Season of the Dawn. Today we'll be going over the weekly reset guide for January 21st, 2020. This is recorded on the 22nd, so bear in mind there may be a little bit of dissimilarities from other videos. Of course, we're going to go over the map and then everything in the tower. First off, we're going to do the Tess Everest store because that's what we like to start off with. So this week we have the Amalon Foundry. Very interesting set if I do say so myself. You have the Amalon Sparrow, Ship, and Ghost. Basically, it's just, reskinned Sparrows with an Amalon patch on them. We don't really need to look into those too mad. New finishers, of course. These finishers have already been spotlighted in previous videos. And, of course, we have the Season of the Dawn ornaments, which, it kind of just shows you your class ornament. So for my Hunter, it shows this ornament, which the armor sucks, if I'm being honest. Not the best. So this week, for the weekly offerings, Ground Ride emote, the shifting loyalties for the Dustrock Blues, the Lampion Shell, which looks really cool, reminds me a lot of Chinese New Year. Very interesting. I'll be sure to pick that up when it reaches the store for Bright Dust. Then we also have the Lantern Projection, followed by the Ram. Of course, in our Bright Dust category down here, we have the Distracted emote, followed by the Tip of the Spear, Jewel of Saturn, Loaded Dice, the Calliope's Lullaby for the Hunter, for the Orpheus Rigs, which I really love, if I'm being honest. I still like the ghillie suit type, still. And then we have the really bad-looking cloak. Of course, I showed you guys the full Hunter set, so we're not going to get into that. Followed by St. 14's Projection. We also have the Vexgate Arrival, followed by the Buried Treasure Projection, the Jungle Viper, and the Grayscale Undergrowth Shaders. Now that we've covered the store, we are going to open up our director and we're going to go through each of the things on the map. If you guys don't know, I like to go through the entire solar system and tell you what is new. This week, Flashpoint is Io, so make sure you go talk to Asher Mir. Today's challenge is the Heroic Adventure Cliffhanger, if I do say. Yep, I'm correct. As for Mercury, I'm going to go from left to right this time. For Mercury this week, of course, we still have the Corridors of Time. This is the last week that you can do it. So if you want those lore pieces, make sure you do it for the emblem as well. We also have the Sundial this week. Of course, every single week. And this week it is Nerul, the Hollow Voice. The modifiers this week are Barrier Champions, Unstoppable Champions, Heavyweight, and Void Singe. But today it's Grenadier. And as for the legendary modifiers, they just add some, extinguish and then bonus damage from the boss and all enemies. On Mars this week, we actually have a great Escalation Protocol boss. This week for the Escalation Protocol, it is Bok-Latar, the Hunger of Zol. He drops all three guns, so the shotgun, the sniper, and the SMG. So make sure you jump in and get that. Now we're going to jump into Vanguard strikes this week. So this week we have Void Singe, Blackout, Deer. This week is the Arms Dealer, so make sure you grab a fire team and go through that. And then for the Nightfalls, we have the Exodus Crash, which rewards a ship or a sparrow. I'm not sure on either. Savathun's Song, which rewards the auto rifle, and the Warden of Nothing that rewards the hand cannon. So make sure if you don't have any of those, jump in. Now on Earth this week, as always, I like to look at the Black Armory, Lost Forge. It is the Izanami Forge. So if you haven't done that one or, you would like to do the Black Armory this week, make sure you jump in and go and get them. Yeah. This week, Iron Banner is back, as well as Team Scorched and Showdown. So make sure you go in and do that. It is also Double Valor this week. So if you want to go get your Double Valor, go right into the Crucible. For the Moon this week, we have the Nightmare Hunt Despair, so Crota, which he drops the class mark. We have Omnigul, so the Essence of Anguish as well, or the Nightmare Hunt Anguish, however you want to say it, which drops the leg armor. And then we have the Fanatic, which drops the Love and Death Grenade Launcher. As always, we have the Pit of Heresy, if you want to go and do that. And, oh my god, I almost forgot, the mission this week is In the Deep, so go after the Cryptoglyph. You guys already know. I don't think I'm really going to cover the daily mission anymore because obviously it's daily and it changes. The Dreaming City this week is the full curse, so if you want to go ahead and do that, go ahead. I haven't done it in a long time, but Petrovenge is in the race Sylvia this week. And the Ascendant Challenge is the Ouroborea, which is the one from week 1. Now that we've covered most of the map, of course, I like to also do Nessus, which has, a lot of raid challenges this week. For the Menagerie, we actually have the Vex Minotaur, which is the first game in it. And the modifiers this week are Extinguish, Iron, Blackout, and Void Singe. If you're doing it on Heroic, obviously if you're not, it's every one of those minus Extinguish. Now that we've covered those, we're going to go ahead and go to the tower. But we still have the raid challenges, which I almost forgot about. So the Crown of Sorrows, it has limited blessings. For the Last Wish raid, it has Witch. And for Scourge of the Past, it has Hold the Line. Now that we're in the tower, of course, what I like to do is I like to go to each and every vendor and then see what is new. For the Obelisk this week, a lot of these are different and a lot of these are kind of the same as last week's. But for the Tangled Shore, we need to kill 300 Scorn and then defeat bosses in strikes. For Mars, we need to defeat enemies using swords or melee damage and then defeat Cabal anywhere in the system. On the EDZ, we have defeat enemies in strikes, followed by Grand Finale, kill 300 Fallen and do 10 finishers. Finally, on Nessus, we have No Time to Lose, so using Kinetic Weapon, rapidly defeat enemies in groups of 3 or more without taking damage. And finally, Cut to the Quick, using a sword, rapidly defeat enemies in groups of 2 or more. Those are the bounties this week. Of course, now that we're going to go over and talk to Zavala, Shax, and good old Banshee for their quests. I kind of like doing this style. I had a bunch of new graphics for the channel, but I decided not to use them because the weekly reset is more better if I do live commentary. We have the 5-to-1 weekly bounty, so complete strikes and defeat at least one Cabal strike boss, followed by in multiple strikes defeat Hive enemies. So it's a little counterproductive because now you have to do a Cabal strike and a Hive strike. I would recommend your deal. There's that. You can kill the boss, and then the Hive strikes, you just need to kill Hive. That's about it. This week for Crucible, we have complete Crucible matches with solar damage and defeat enemies, followed by just defeat enemies and get assists. Not too bad for Lord Shax's bounties. As for Banshee, he actually has an update right now. With Banshee, if you remember, I would stop showing the weekly bounties for him, but we're going to start doing them again because Bungie finally decided to get off their asses and bounty. So this week it is followed by the Crucible Gambit and Strike calibrations. And the mods down below are the Major Spec, followed by Auto Rifle Reserves. And as usual, we have the upgrade modules and Ascendant Shards. Ascendant Shards use Berry and Bow this week. Enhancement use Microphasic Data Lettuce, followed by Etheric Spirals and Phase Glasses. Now that we've covered Banshee, we're going to go up here and talk to Lord Saladhead. With him being here, it's kind of nice because then that way we can just chat with him and see what kind of bounties he has. For Iron Banner, it's defeat opponents while assisted by another teammate, defeat opponents while your team holds zone advantage, earn bonus progress during the hunt, win matches in the Iron Banner playlist, or play matches, and of course kill enemies with a higher power level. That is very different. I like the fact that you need to kill opponents that are higher power level, but at the same time, Iron Banner has always been a shit show. For this week as well, if I pull up the map, Saint 14 actually has a new armor set, or not armor set, a new weapon this week, so make sure you go and talk to him. Watch out for the video coming out later where I do the entire guide on how to get the Bastion. It's going to be a great guide. You guys are going to love it. As for the rest of the map, that's going to conclude this week's weekly reset. I know it's been very quick, but I didn't want to half-ass it. I know it sounds like I did, but I've had to re-record this multiple times due to my audio constantly cutting out. But thank you guys so much for watching. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification box. I'm posting daily Destiny content for Season of the Dawn, The Dawning, Crimson Days, etc., etc. Comment down below if this helped you in any way, shape, or form. Leave a like, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. I love all of you. Have a great day, and peace out.